Summarize what you're asking the court to do.
Sure. I mean, here's where we are, and just from a summary standpoint. Over a month ago, way back, we filed a motion to suppress the wiretaps on the basis that they failed to follow the law. The court asked that those motions be briefed. They were. We then came to a 3-day hearing, February 28, March 1, March 2. We came prepared. We examined the witnesses. We asked for the statements that we were entitled to under the law. We were assured that we had them. 10 days later, we find out at nighttime that they didn't give us the documents. Upon looking at it, it's something we realized we were supposed to have. We immediately went back to the court and advised the court on that Monday following that Thursday night. A hearing was set. The next thing we know is right before the hearing, they furnished more documents. Again, late at night. We come to the hearing, there appears to be more documents. We're told to be given the documents. We come back, they don't give to us. So we come back a third time. This is the third hearing we've been to since this matter was concluded. And not one time is it the mistake of the defendants. It's the government. It's their responsibility under the law to follow the law. I mean, they're the ones who brought the wiretaps. They're the ones who says their case is all about the wiretaps. So we have filed a motion asking the judge to strike the witness who failed to produce the statement. We're asking the court to strike the testimony of Agent Carr because the government failed to follow the law. We're also asking the court to strike all of the wiretaps, every single one of them, because they failed to follow the law and they failed to follow the court's orders. So that's where we are. We should have been here 3 weeks ago. We'd hoped to have an order today. That's not the court's fault. That's not the defendant's fault. It all rests with the government. And every time we go now, they apologize. They apologize for their mistakes. Well, you know, when are we going to get to it when they quit apologizing? All we want to do is follow the law. Just follow the law. Give us what we're entitled to. We've been ready for every single hearing. Every single hearing. The government has not. We've not asked for one single delay. Not one single delay. You heard my lawyer stand up in that courtroom and say, "Judge, I'm sorry, but I've been up all night." And he was. He was up all night so we could file our motion this morning on time so that we didn't have to ask for a delay. They didn't even file a response to it. They had no response to it. So anyway, we think it's a good day for the defense. We think we've done our job. We think the government did not follow the law, and we now rest it with the court.
Joe, how many documents did you get after the judge issued his sternly worded statement last week? Are we talking
well, let's see. The first time, I'm trying to just kind of think through the process. One time we got one email. Then right before the hearing, we got 3. And we came to the court, and they had to get us some. About 5 o'clock, I think there was probably 150 pieces of paper, something in that range. And then we came back, was it Tuesday? And he ordered additional documents, and most of the documents that the McGregor team used in court today came from what we got yesterday. I'm trying to think. Was it, yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah. It was a stack of them. I mean, it was a stack.
Largely agent text messages.
Yes.
Emails.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a stack like that. I mean, it took us all night last night to go through those things. We had people stay up. We had people there. We had people stay up all night. We had people back there today going through every piece of paper so that we would not cause a delay.
So you got some Tuesday afternoon after the hearing and more on Wednesday?
Let me think through it. We got some Tuesday afternoon after the hearing, and it seems like to me they came in around 5 o'clock. On Wednesday, around 11:30, we got a statement from Agent Carr, what's called a 302. A statement from Agent Carr. It just came in out of the blue. There's no excuse for that. And then yesterday afternoon, 3 o'clock roughly, and I don't even know how many there was. It's a stack like that. A lot of them, I mean, on one sheet of paper, there were as many as 20 or 25 data entries that we had to go through. I mean, I would say thousands of data entries is my guess. There were that many. On one, you know, if there's 20, 25, 50 on one piece of paper, then we had all kinds of stuff.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is it still your position that you may be entitled to other documents?
Yeah, you heard what we said. We don't have this warm, fuzzy feeling in our heart that we've got everything. And I think you heard some of the lawyers say that we most likely will be filing some additional motions next week. You know, and they said in open court there are no state documents. Well, you know, it's interesting. You got a state federal process going on, which they've admitted has been going on since February 2010, and there are no state documents. Now, do y'all believe that? I mean, I'm just asking y'all in good common sense, do y'all believe that? That's what they said. So we're going to keep addressing it. You know, it's like Mr. Hellman said, if we hadn't knocked on the door, right after March the 10th, we wouldn't have gotten one single piece of paper, and we'd all be sitting here today not knowing that they were hiding documents that much. We wouldn't have known it if we hadn't knocked on the door. And we're going to keep knocking on the door. You can depend on that. We're going to keep knocking on the door, and we're going to see and make sure that they don't play hide and seek with the documents. Go ahead.
You got what the judge said that what y'all are asking today would be extremely rare.
Well, you know, he asked were there any cases on this point, and I think Mr. Hellman's forthcoming. And I'll tell you why I don't think there's a lot of cases on this point. The rule is so clear. The rule says the rule says if a witness gets on the stand and testifies, and that witness is a government agent, you must, not you can, not maybe you want to, you must give us the statements that he's got. Must. So I don't think there's a lot of cases because the rule's so clear. I believe, well, I was going to say my 3.5-year-old granddaughter Lulu could handle that. Maybe that's going a little far, but I mean it's not very difficult to read the rule, and so I don't think there's a lot of cases because I believe it's so clear. You didn't see them saying, Judge, we got some cases that they didn't give you one case in support of their position because they can't. They didn't give you a rule. They didn't give you a case in support of their position because they can't.
Joe, the documents that came out today, they seem to mostly describe minor mistakes.
Well,
do you think there's a smoking gun that they didn't follow the organizational procedures?
I think through this, and it was in the courtroom, think through this. Not a single person that monitored those calls was familiar with voice box. Not a single person that did the monitoring had ever monitored before. They started monitoring, Cody and I were talking about it. I think the testimony was around 11 o'clock or somewhere on March the 1st. And an hour earlier, those 16 people were trained on the complicated machine that we just heard about, and you were having all these calls coming in, and you didn't get any training. I mean, think about that. How devastating is that to their case? How devastating is it that the rules and what they gave Judge Hobbs says you do not let the investigating prosecuting team get any of these things. You don't do it. You got to separate those people. Keith Baker was getting emails and text messages from the monitors. Hey, look at this, look at that. There was no separation. I think those 2 points alone were devastating to the prosecution today. Devastating to the prosecution. Along with the fact they're listening to privilege calls. Along with the fact they don't put on any evidence. Who did they put on? I mean, who did they put? They didn't put a single state agent on. They got the burden of proof. Not one. Not one single state agent goes on the stand. Hey, y'all have a great day. Hope I gave y'all some information. See y'all.